Welcome back to Hot Takes. I know in my last video, I said that I was going to retire this brand so I could focus on a new podcast I have launching. That new podcast is still in development, is still in the works. But you know what? There are just some conversations that I have with people that are too good not to resist. So I just had to take the brand off the shelf, take it out of retirement, and do one more hot take. This one, we're going to talk about personal branding. I think it's quite interesting. I've been reflecting on my own personal brand. I mean, I started off with the 3-second pitch. I get you on TV. It was so focused on being an expert on television, but my own work has evolved. My own brand has evolved to have insight on what it takes to be the spokesperson for your own brand, to tell the stories that support your personal brand, that fill your marketing and get people to know, like, and trust and give money into your business. So when I talked with my next guest about personal branding, like, it was such a lively, fiery conversation. I thought more people need to hear this because this information is gold. So Annabelle King builds brand stories that grow businesses. She's a brand and marketing consultant who's been uncovering brand stories for global and local brands, and in recent years for people who are the face of their business. She's developed a bespoke process to help uncover the unique value brands and people offer and turn it into a compelling brand story. She offers this program and other marketing planning through consulting, workshops, marketing retreats, and online courses. So please welcome to the stage, Annabelle King. Yay!
Thanks so much, Tara. I'm so glad that you took the show out of retirement for me. I feel very honored and privileged.
I mean, I'm sure I could probably also feature you in the upcoming podcast. It's all about pivoting and making those decisions and choices. So, like, this is the first of many conversations. But you know, when we're talking about personal branding, what you bring to the table is so important that I thought, you know what, I'll clear my schedule. We'll make it happen. We'll make it work. Nice. So first, let's start with, because I feel like we talk about personal branding a lot. Yeah. Let's define, like, what is personal branding? How do you define it?
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of definitions out there, and there's a lot of confusion out there about what it is. I've worked on it for a few years to kind of crystallize what I think it is, and I'll tell you about kind of my theory behind that. But personal branding starts with having a personal brand statement, like a single statement that communicates the unique and compelling value that you offer to your customers, that only you can offer. And that key brand message is a message that should exist everywhere. And then it gets expressed through words and pictures and videos and however you want to bring it to life in marketing and stories. But the core of a personal brand strategy has to be a key brand message, like a personal brand statement. So I do a lot of work. That's why my focus in business is uncovering stories that grow businesses, because getting your messaging right is the most important part of your marketing. You can build a fantabulous, media plan and, use all the cool digital tools, have the best email campaigns and the best videos and content. You can do all of that, and you can spend a lot of time and money doing that. Yeah. But if your message isn't right, your marketing fails.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. Yeah. Oh. And scene. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, done. We're done now.
It is like it's so simple. Like the message itself feeds everything. It feeds this beast. It feeds this machine. And I love nailing down what that idea is. Where I think some brands go wrong in developing their personal brand, and I made this mistake too, is thinking that this central message is the one script that I am now going to repeat again and again and again and again. And then eventually you just become a robot delivering the same 30-second spiel. So one thing that I started exploring with in the people that I work with on their personal brands is helping them understand the difference between the idea and the execution. And I think we're talking about the same thing. So the idea in this case is your central message, right? It is the core of who you are. It's your foundation point. It's your landing point. And all of the storytelling that goes from there is the execution. The execution, you can let that grow and develop as long as it's coming back to that central idea. Yeah. It's not a script that you're repeating again and again and again. It's just the core of who you are, and you're carrying that with you. And it is expressed in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're saying the same thing, but we say it kind of different ways, So when I look at that core brand message, I consider it a creative platform. Yeah. So it's like a message that you can express many different ways think about it. You can take any line, any message, and you can say it a bunch of different ways, but it still means the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the execution you're talking about is. So
Mm-hmm.
the message doesn't get tired because you can express it many, many different ways. You know, for example, like, you know, for my personal brand statement is I build brand stories that grow businesses. And on the back of my business card, I have this cool little line that says, I grow brand stories that grow, and the grow kind of grows businesses. Like, it's the same statement in that case, but it's a very different execution. It looks very different, you know, and there's so many ways that you can reinvent it. But ensuring that you have a strategic message that's correct, that is speaking to your audience, that is actually speaking about how what you offer is unique and different in the marketplace. That's the really important stuff that you have to get right. Because if you do go out with a message that is, you know, not so strategic or maybe not as strong, it will get tired very fast, and you'll actually like have trouble coming up with ideas. The wonderful thing about the process that I've built, to get to that message, you have to do quite a bit of research and soul searching. Like,
100%, yes.
Yeah, and I, you know, from a business, I always say that like building a personal brand strategy is certainly the process that I've created is part marketing strategy, part business strategy, and part personal development.
Yeah,
because you have to get really clear on who your audience is. And so you've got to get all the stuff down on paper about all the people you think it is. And then you've got to get clear about, hey, how can I describe my audience in like 1 or 2 words? And that makes you get really focused, you know? The other thing you do is you uncover what you do and what you deliver. Now, it's easy for people to write down all the millions of things that they do. And in fact, Tara, most of the time when people build personal brand messages, they build it around what they do. You know, I create amazing design, you know, so like they build it around what they do because we're in the do of our work all the time, you know. So I joke, it's like, you know, it's what we do, it's how the sausage is made, basically. But for the client, they don't really care about all the things that you do. You know, they need to know you can do them because you have to be able to deliver, but they get something else from what you give them. You know, in your case, for example, I bet you what people get after they work with you is confidence to speak, you know. And so like you tear away all those limiting beliefs and all of those like insecurity barriers that come with speaking because you give them like, hey, if you do these 3 or 4 things, you're going to win. You know, and you prove it to them, and then it works, and then they have more confidence. So it's the same with whatever anybody offers. You know, we speak a lot about what we do and what we make and what we create, but actually what that delivers and the impact it has is what clients care about. The process itself to get to that really solid strategic message that looks very simple and beautiful and elegant in the end, and it is, the process is so enlightening, and it teaches you so much about your business, and it focuses you on what you deliver for your clients. It gets you out of that headspace of talking about what you do and the thing you make. And it gets you really tuned into what your strengths are. So it helps you to steer away from things that don't play to your strengths.
We talk about these processes like, oh yeah, you just do this, you research this, you write this list, and you do that, and you just inner work. As long as you're doing that on your own, you're limited to what is already inside your head. So I'm very much aware, especially in the early years, my avatar was always me. And the stage that I'm at in business. So that was, yeah, I'm a small business owner. These are the problems that I'm having with media. These are the problems I can sell, because that was the awareness that I had. It was only when I started talking to other people and getting feedback on how they see my skills that I started thinking, oh, hang on a second, large companies actually need me as well. I need to be to corporations and executives. I can serve all these spaces, but yeah, there's actually a lot of other things. And it was only in hearing that from someone else. Like there is that, it's one thing for us to say, yeah, you just do this, you do this list, and you do this research. I say, if you want to do it well, you let someone guide you through that. You have a professional like yourself saying, hey, this is actually where I'm seeing your limits, let's push your boundary and see
Yeah.
this new area, which is actually where your success is going to be found. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you've hit on that, because I think we have so many limiting beliefs as well.
Yeah.
All of us, you know, and our belief around what we do and how good we are at it is, you know, a direct correlation to how many successful projects we've done. Sometimes it's just the last one we're remembering. You know, we always say we're as good as our last project, you know, like it's a terrible saying. I must write a post about that one day. It's a terrible saying, but it's true. Like, and then our experience, as you mentioned, our experience and learning and interactions with clients, like they all amount to what we believe about, you know, what we offer and how valuable it is. I'm going to give you an example that's really fascinating. It was one of the first personal brand strategies I ever created. And it was for, I had built a brand strategy for a wealth management investment company, and they're a 70-person company. And they were really excited about the brand strategy at the end. And then the MD turns around to me and he says, "What about me?" I was like, "Sorry?" And he goes, "Well, I'm the MD of this company, but I also run my wealth management investment division." So I asked all his team about what they all thought his clients valued about him, and they all told me, like, oh, he gets great returns, they get a great money pot in their retirement, like all of these like ROI related things.
Yes.
Because it was investing. It made sense. And I went through 121 testimonials and detailed feedback from his clients, and I interviewed 11 clients. And the resounding pattern that came up with every single person was they considered him a friend,
Yes.
One of the closest people in their world, the most trusted advisor. And so when you looked at the life of, you know, of wealth management investment over that time, there's big highs and lows in people's lives.
Yeah.
And he was the person that would be called to rearrange the finances at any time, you know? And he was shocked. And I was like, this was all of your clients, though.
Yeah.
This wasn't a handful, it was all of them. So his personal brand strategy was I help retiring Canadians retire healthier, happier, and oh dear, I can't remember the last one. Oh yeah, healthier, happier, and smarter, because he educates them a lot. Like, he wasn't even aware of this.
No.
He was just him doing his thing, but he didn't know that he was instilling confidence and faith and supporting people in their toughest moments of their life, you know?
There's so much in that anecdote. So first, you're really nailing that. We often, like, what you do is not who you are.
Yes.
Clients are looking for who you are. What relationship are we getting into?
Yeah.
And also just the simplicity of language. So in one of my workshops, On Camera Confidence, I actually have the group read out loud I Love You Forever by Robert Munch. Are you familiar with the book?
No, but now I watch it now.
Oh my goodness. It's a children's picture book called I Love You Forever. And it's I Love You Forever is the name of a lullaby. So it tells the story of a young mother who sings this lullaby to her baby son. I love you forever. I like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. That scene is repeated as the child grows up. So when he's a toddler and she's ready to like pull her hair out because he's being disruptive, their nighttime ritual where she sings in the ritual, sings in the lullaby. She sings it again when he's a teenager and she has to sneak into the bed. She sings it again when he's an adult. Towards the end, she is now too ill. She's in hospital, sick, presumably dying. And tries to call her son on the phone and starts the lullaby, and she can't finish it.
Oh,
the son,
Cara.
We're not even there yet. The son goes to the hospital, cradles his mother in his arms, and reads the lyrics lightly. I love you forever. I like you for always. As long as I'm living, my mother you'll be.
Oh.
And then it continues. He goes to his home and sings the lullaby to his child. So the challenge in the workshop is we take turns reading each page. We read it out loud. And the challenge is we're not allowed to cry.
I don't know that I could do it. I mean, I've been holding back you just telling me the story.
Every single time we go through this experience, because you're hearing the lullaby again and again and again, and it's just this emotional experience. We cry every single time. We've never succeeded with this challenge. And I use that as an example to point to the power of simple language. Make your message simple. and allow the emotion to come through, because that's what people are connecting to and that's what they remember. There's
Mm.
the Maya Angelou quote. No one remembers what you do for them, but they remember how you make them feel. So
Yes, yes, yes,
the
yes.
brand story, allow the feeling to come into that.
Yeah.